Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our partner showcase for today. This is MATT Connect version 2.1 upgrade. We thank you for joining us today as we learn about changes to our MATT Connect products we've had for a while. You're going to hear about several things that are new and upgraded. So thank you for joining us today, and our guests will give you that presentation here shortly. We want to begin with our poll questions. We normally ask a set of 3, and then we have an additional one that we're going to throw at you as well. We want to know, of course, where you're from. We want to know your job title, and we want to know how you heard about this webinar. And then in addition to that, we have a content-specific poll question we want to ask as well. We'd like you to please rate your experience level with MATT Connect. This is going to be very helpful for our presenters today. So, are you a beginner? Are you an intermediate? Are you advanced? Or are you a Jedi with the MATT Connect? This will be very helpful to our presenters as they go through and give you information today. Now, this is a partner showcase. So that means several things. That means, first of all, there will not be any ACV REP today, so no codes, nothing to worry about with any of that. A little less formal and gives you the opportunity to not have to worry about those things. Just take the information in and not worry about whether or not you've gotten a code for today. We still, as always, want you to put your questions in the chat.
Still there, Paul? Paul, are you with us? Going once, going twice. He's on mute, he's off mute. One more time, Paul, are you with us? That would be a negative. I guess we're experiencing some technical difficulties, so apologies. Looks like we've got about 37 of 49 folks, or 75% of the audience, that have contributed. So in wrapping up, as Paul had indicated, we would ask you to put your questions in the chat. There is no ACV REP credit, so there is no opening or closing code. And captioning would be available through Zoom tools. Unfortunately, we did have a captioner pop in, but I, as being sort of coming back to sort of running the scene, running the show behind the scenes, could not enable the captioner. And so I've got to dig through Zoom to find some things. So again, if you are in need of captioning, you can go ahead and use the captioning tool available through Zoom. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, and we'll go ahead and we'll share the results. All right. And just kind of do a little bit of a summary. So 56% of you out there are teachers of the visually impaired. So welcome. As I move down through this and we take a look at where everybody is at, it looks like the Midwest and the Southeast are coming in at 24% of our audience apiece. And then how did you hear about the webinar? 66% of you heard about the webinar from an email from APH. And then finally, I think this is the information that Roger and Justine are looking for in describing yourself. About 44% of the audience would describe themselves as a beginner. 44% would describe themselves as intermediate, and 12% would describe themselves as advanced, with no Jedis out there at the moment. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to ask Paul one more time if he's with us. Paul, are you back? He's on mute. He's off mute. I still don't think he's with us. All right. So joining us today is Roger Steinberg, who is the low vision product manager with HumanWare. Thank you for being with us, Roger.
Thanks, Jim.
All right. And also with us is Justine Taylor, who is our low vision product manager. Welcome, Justine.
Thank you.
All right. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Roger.
Thanks again, Jim. Really happy to be here today. It's been a long time in coming, and we're really excited to have this webinar to get the announcement out there and get information to those that are interested in the MATT Connect and those that already own the MATT Connect that are looking to upgrade their units. Again, thanks for completing that poll. It helps us to keep our focus in a range that is useful to everyone that has joined the webinar today. With that said, we'll go ahead and just start again, since we have some beginners and intermediates, with a quick overview of what is the MATT Connect and some of the key benefits of the device that you could have for students or others that are using it. First and most importantly is it is a low vision support tool for those students or individuals who need assistance in viewing materials either near or in the distance. So with tools that are built into it that allow for the capture of images of documents, the ability to recognize the text on there and read it back. We support in excess of 20 languages and 50 different voices. Certainly supports a broad range of users. A key benefit of the MATT Connect is the fact that it does have an internet connection, which allows you to utilize free resources like Bookshare, which almost all users of the MATT Connect qualify for, Gutenberg and those sorts of things, but millions of books. So Bookshare has just announced that they have eclipsed the 1.2 million mark in available text materials, and as recently as about a week ago announced a partnership with Pearson as one of their accessibility partners in creating text materials. So really important, saves a lot of time, energy, and effort for both teachers and users to be able to download materials, carry them on the tablet, and where desired, take the tablet out of its stand and carry it around to different locations, like reading in a beanbag and so forth. So once we've captured materials or downloaded materials, then another key benefit to the MATT Connect is that we've included tools that allow the user to expand or expand their understanding of material or deepen their comprehension of material for tasks like writing and studying with reading comprehension tools like highlighters and bookmarks to find where they left off or to mark key points in a text and those sorts of things, as well as a notes tool that allows for the creation of notes to go alongside of anything that's being read. So lots of tools to enhance reading comprehension and retention of materials that are being read. Another tool set that is included in the MATT Connect, again, very easy to use, is a set of 3 different calculators that are driven by Desmos, which is one of the best accessible calculator providers out there. And they will come in 3 varieties, from a basic calculator to a scientific and even a graphing calculator. So calculators that can grow with the user from elementary all the way through into high school and college and even beyond into the workforce. Sort of tying into that, in the settings of the device, and again, this is in the very simple and easy to use settings of Prodigy, which is the software that's installed on the MATT Connect, are interface options that allow the user to grow with the MATT Connect. So a beginning user may be in elementary school, so referencing those calculators that I just talked about, maybe they only need a basic calculator that does addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and those sorts of things, but they may also need a simplified interface. So we offer 3 interfaces with the MATT Connect. There's a basic, a standard, and an advanced. And in the case of the basic, what we do is basically, to recoin the phrase, have the user locked into the Prodigy software and keep them in a very simple and easy to use mode of operation for the device. So they may not have access to Android without the teacher allowing that. So again, the ability to grow from that into an advanced interface where they have access to everything, including the underlying Android operating system and some of those other functions that I'll come to in just a moment. We're also installing 23 APH toolbox applications. And Justine's going to cover those in more detail later on in the presentation, but we did add several of them with this update as well. So she'll highlight those, and those are tools that APH has made for users to use alongside of the tablet. Again, unique to the MATT Connect is we have the ability to lock the tablet in place. So again, coming back to this growing with the user option, the tablet inserts into the stand, and there is a screw that can be inserted that will lock the tablet in place for those younger users where there may be a danger of them dropping a tablet. But certainly as users grow into middle schoolers and high schoolers and beyond, they can be trusted and be more responsible with a tablet, so that screw can be removed, and then the tablet can come out of the stand and become a very portable reading device that they can sit on the couch, again, lie in a beanbag chair, sit in a hammock as the weather is getting nicer outside, and continue their academic pursuits of whatever it is that they're trying to do on the tablet there. And lastly, in terms of functionality, again, sort of speaking to this growing the school to work transition for a user, there's access to everything that you can get through an Android operating system. So direct access to Google, Microsoft 365, Zoom as we're using today, and basically the world of apps that are available through Google Play are all downloadable onto the tablet, and especially this new and upgraded tablet that we'll be talking more about today. I'll speak to the image on the right here on the screen very quickly. Again, for those that are new, MATT Connect is a tablet-based application set that is driven by Prodigy software that's been developed by Humanware and then with APH enhanced to become the MATT Connect. So the tablet goes into a stand that you see here that will fold flat and can be carried from location to location with the tablet in place, or again, with a screw into the latch to lock it in place for younger users. And then lastly, what you can see in the image here is this is how we support distance viewing with the device. On the right-hand side of this stand, you can insert our distance camera, which wirelessly connects to the tablet and allows the user to view things in the distance like whiteboards or a teacher that's doing a demonstration. So that's a sort of, in a nutshell, overview of the MATT Connect and what the benefits are of using the device. Justine, I don't know if you want to add anything to what I said there before I move on to my next slide.
No, I think you covered it all really well.
All right, great, thanks. So what we're here about today is we have a major upgrade to the MATT Connect, and that is in the form of a new tablet that you can either upgrade the tablet if you're a pre-existing owner, or it will ship with a new MATT Connect full kit, full product set, which Justine is also going to detail later what all comes with a full kit. So what does this include on this new tablet that you might upgrade? First, and very importantly, is an upgrade to the Android operating system to Android 12. Jim, can you go back one slide? Thank you, sir. So this brings a lot of benefit to the end user in that it allows the user to run any app that's available out there on the Google Play Store. So, older operating systems, sometimes older apps won't run, so it addresses that. It boots more quickly, it increases the battery life of the device. It's much more energy conserving, if you will. We have updated the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth chipsets in the device. So this is beneficial in a couple of ways. It's going to increase and create better connectivity to both of those types of devices, be they Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, but also they are supportive of newer and updated security protocols that IT professionals are looking for. And in a large number of instances, the MATT Connect is being used in educational institutions where you need to work with an IT person and they're looking for those sorts of things. So we've addressed those. Another big update is we've added USB-C charging. So this is the result of a lot of voice of customer and hearing that, especially again, because the MATT Connect is used largely in educational situations, we were using a pin-based charging previously, and it was very easy for a student to break those off in the device, which then required intervention to get that pin removed from the device. So we've upgraded to a USB-C charging port, which is a much more standard charging port. So if you were to lose a cable, you can replace with a USB-C cable to continue to charge the device, but it also helps with data transfer as well. And as you can see, there are what's new in Android 12. There are too many features to list here. I will talk about a few of those in just a moment, but we can get you a link to what's in there if you'd like, and you'll see just a host of different updates that they've added in Android 12. Now we can go forward, Jim. Okay, so again, continuing with what's new. So in terms of the operating system in Android, so they've done a number of things to increase the accessibility. We're just highlighting a few of them here. But one of the key ones is that they've created a dark theme mode that you can run on the tablet. They've also enhanced the startup wizard, which is the third point here. So when you go to set up the tablet, there's a wizard that you need to go through. And that will allow you to set up a Google account. And it's not required, but it is recommended that you do so. But as you go through that process, we're going to go ahead and install the updated Prodigy software and voices and everything as part of that process. But that wizard itself has some very nice accessibility features built into it. So before you even get started with the tablet, you can adjust the font size that you're going to see on the screen, the image size that will come across. You can turn on talkback and several other functions that you can set before you even get into the setup. So it's very useful to do those things. And we have created a tablet activation tutorial that we can, I will, after I'm done speaking here, I can throw that in the chat for everyone if they want to look at it. But it sort of walks through each stage of the activation process. Pretty straightforward and easy to do. But I just wanted to highlight that that video is available already for you to go. And then again, there are some price changes and updates and a tablet only option. And Justine's going to cover those in more detail when she takes over in just a few moments. Slide forward. So just a little bit more on the hardware upgrades to the device. And you can see an image to the right here that shows the right edge of the tablet. And to the very top right there, if you will, it's a little bit faded in the back corner there, but there is the micro SD port, and then just to the left of that is the USB-C port that we've added. And again, that's used for the charging of the device as well as for data transfer. Then continuing to the left, so again, going from the right to the left, in the center left there would be a micro HDMI port for connection out to other devices that can accept an HDMI signal. And then below that, or fourth from the right, would be your headphone jack. And then just below that, a little bit fuzzy there, is speaker. But the big change in the hardware that you see there on the right is the addition of a USB-C port for both charging and for data transfer. We can go forward, Jim. So before I hand off to Justine, we did want to have a poll question, and this is something that you can, we're not able to run this through a Zoom poll per se, but in the chat window, if you will, there's the hardware changes that are included in the tablet. It comes with a stand, and for those of you that have been using the device, we would like you to consider the MATT Connect as it stands now. You can consider it with the new tablet and the changes that I've just outlined. But if you were able to make one additional change to the hardware structure, again, and this is very focused on the hardware structure, we'll ask about software later, of the MATT Connect, what would it be? And we're hoping to capture these in the chat window. So if you don't have something that comes to mind right now and it comes to you in a couple of minutes, go ahead and add it later on, and we will download the transcript of this later and go through there and review your answers. But we're very interested to hear your thoughts on what you might add or change in the hardware aspects of the MATT Connect. And as you're answering that, I'm going to hand it off to Justine to take over her portion of the presentation.
Thanks, Roger.
Yep.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here and answer any questions as we go over all the changes for the upgrade. I think you did a great job, Roger, kind of explaining everything this far. So I'm just going to hop in here and go over sort of what the MATT Connect version 2.1 with this upgrade is going to continue to include. So as you can see, there's not too many changes. Obviously, there's the biggest change is the upgraded tablet to the Android 12 platform, and with that USB-C charging. So that's one of the biggest changes. And we have updated the Prodigy software to the version 4.7. And that's going to include some changes to the toolbox, which I'll cover shortly. But just this slide here just covers what you get in the box when you get your MATT Connect. And it's still pretty much everything will be the same, except for that USB-C charging cord will be different. So you'll get the MATT Connect unit itself, which will be the new Android 12 tablet, and you'll get your stand. You'll have the USB to USB-C cable for the data transfer, and you'll get the USB-C power supply cable, and you'll get the transportation bag. So that's like a laptop size bag to carry your MATT Connect in. You'll get the wireless camera. So that will still be the regular Kodak distance camera. You'll get the camera stick so you can secure that to your MATT Connect for the distance viewing. And you'll get a stylus, a screen protector. You get, like Roger was talking about, either securing your tablet to the stand or removing it. So you'll get a screw and screwdriver kind of packet. And so you can secure the tablet to the stand if you don't want your student to accidentally, press that slider button and it fall out of the stand. If you don't really want them to have the tablet out of the stand, you can just use the screwdriver and screw that in to the stand, or you can take it out, take that screw out, and you can easily put it in and out of the stand. You'll get a Bluetooth keyboard. So it's a large print Bluetooth keyboard that you'll receive. And we also have, I do want to mention on the product page for the MATT Connect, we have documentation on there for all the hotkeys for the Bluetooth keyboard. We also have a skills performance checklist that's been updated, and we have the user manuals available all on the website. So you can use your Bluetooth keyboard for note taking, and all those hotkey commands are on our website for you to download. You'll get a battery pack for the distance camera. So that's going to allow you to have extra battery life for your camera so you can use it all day long. And like I mentioned, the quick start guide and the user manual are on our website, and you'll get a service card and the folding stand with protective carrying case and a 1-year limited warranty. So that's what you'll get when you purchase the MATT Connect. And the next slide here goes over the APH toolbox. So like I was mentioning, this upgraded software, we have included all the APH Android apps will be pre-installed into the toolbox. So you'll have access to the Flip Over Faces app. And this Flip Over Faces is just a fun kind of interactive app to explore facial expressions. And there are hundreds of facial expressions that can be generated by changing the eyebrows, eye direction, the mouth, multiple hairstyles, and eyewear options. So that's just a fun app that we have available. We have Braille Buzz. So the Braille Buzz app introduces Braille to young children, and you can experience fun games and activities to learn Braille letters using the electronic Braille on a Braille display. And the app can be used with any Braille display. And then we have Code Jumper included as well. And Code Jumper can be connected to your MATT Connect. And you can use, if you have the Code Jumper, you can use it with your MATT Connect now. And then there's the Math Flash. So Math Flash is just a kind of a flashcard to learn basic math facts and mental math. So you can play Math Flash on your MATT Connect. And we have Practice to Master Abacus. And this is just an app that helps make your abacus learning more interactive. And then we have SALS on the MATT Connect now. So you can use SALS. It's a probe, and you can use that with the app to make science activities more accessible. So if you have the SALS probe for science class, you can use that app on your MATT Connect, and it basically the tip of the glass tube detects light, which is covered, so you can hear different tones with the different densities of light, and sort of like a science experiment. If you have this probe, you can put it into the beaker, or your different tubes and stuff, and you can hear different tones. So that's the SALS app. So those are all now included on the MATT Connect. So those are all of our Android apps. And we also have all the regular apps as well. I just wanted to highlight all of the pre-installed ones. You've had the Google Suite apps, you have the e-book reader apps, Kahoots, you have the Google Classroom. So there's just tons of apps available, and you can download any apps that you like from the Play Store, and you can add those to your toolbox. So they're all just you can access them all in one place. So that's really handy to have that toolbox there.
Justine,
so you don't have to exit Prodigy.
I think you just answered this question, but Tim Grice asked the
Oh.
question, is the APH toolbox a separate download or is it found in apps?
It's a tile. It's one of the tiles, or one of the apps in the advanced interface. It just is the APH logo, and that's where all the apps live.
And it's very specific to the MATT Connect.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is, yeah.
And Roger's holding up his tablet right now. And the icon that he's showing is the APH logo, APH in white with a black background. So.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. And it's really helpful. Like I said, you can just open up that toolbox and you'll see all the APH apps that I mentioned are in there, plus all the Google, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, all of those are there. So it's just, yeah, it's a really good educational tool. And like when Roger was just saying some of the key benefits, one that I always like to mention that people forget about a lot is how you can annotate. You can write on the tablet. That's why it comes with a stylus and stuff. So if you're working on a worksheet or something in class, you can capture that. You can OCR it. You can write on it, write all from that one magnifier function. So there's a lot of benefits, and we have a lot of webinar content that is still useful even with the upgrade. And we've also included the new tutorial video on how to set up your tablet. So it goes over how you can set up your Google account and how to install that Prodigy software. And I'm going to wrap up with a poll question as well, if we're ready for that.
Yeah,
part.
Go ahead, Justine.
Okay. So my poll question is, what is one software feature or tool you would add to the Prodigy or the APH toolbox? So what is some software features that you would like to see either in the Prodigy suite or within the APH toolbox?
You want to go ahead and talk about the pricing as people dropped out their comments into the chat, and then Jim Olson from Colorado has dropped a comment in that I'll bring up in a moment to address about the tablet getting locked. But you want to cover the cost of the kit as well as the replacement tablet?
Yep. Yes. So the MATT Connect version 2.1 pricing, we have a quota price is $3,795, and the non-quota price is $3,895. So that's for the upgraded version. And then for the tablet only, so you can purchase and sort of upgrade your MATT Connects if you already have a bunch of MATT Connects and you would like to replace them. You can purchase the tablet only, and the price, the quota price for that option is $1,395, and the non-quota price for the tablet is $1,495. So that is our upgraded pricing.
All right, so there were a number of hardware suggestions that were dropped into the chat. And so software suggestions should be coming in. Jim Olson had asked a question a little while ago about issues with unlocking the tablet, that as they issue MATT Connects to students, the students will enter a passcode that cannot be unlocked without having to send the device in should the student not come back, or the tablets come in with those codes. And so he's asking a question specifically about that process and any suggestions that we might have about preventing the kids from actually locking those tablets. So I don't know, Justine or Roger, if either one of you have any experience with that and maybe could address that. If not here, maybe with Jim offline.
So if it depends on how the tablet is locked out. Eric Beauchamp is messaging there that he can answer. So if you want to add him as someone who can weigh in, that's fine. But if it's locked with a PIN code, then you'll need to do a reset of the tablet or a factory reset. And that's where if you created a PIN code during the setup process. If it's locked out because of a Gmail account, that is something that we cannot control. That's getting into the Android Google world of things, and that's where the tablet has to come back in to be handled physically. Now, in terms of how to address that up, ahead of time, well, first of all, it is just make sure that you're recording those as much as you don't like to, those passwords and such, somewhere so that you can access them. When and if staff change and that sort of thing, which is what often leads to these situations, is probably the best way to overcome that. And we do have recorded videos on the website about how to set up and be prepared for those such situations and sort of the ramifications of those. In order to reset the tablet, it's the volume up and power button at the same time to get to the reset menu. And again, that is covered in a video as well, sort of worst case scenario. And that's if it's a PIN code issue versus a Gmail lockout. So there's some nuance to the answer there. But it does require, when it does have to come in, it is a manual intervention, and I can't speak specifically to what APH may or may not charge for that service.
And you're correct, Roger. So you didn't need me anymore. So yes, so it does depend on is it a pin locked or the Gmail. The Gmail, unfortunately, we have to open the tablet and there's 2 pins that have to be shorted. So it needs to have a certified technician to do that. And that's for security reason. Google or Android included that in their build. So we can't modify that in any way because it's at a higher level than us. But as a pin for the tablet only, like Roger just mentioned, you power down the device, and on power up, you hold your power and your volume up button at the same time, and you will see a new menu appearing after the HumanWare logo. In that menu, there's several little options. You can go move down and up those options using the volume buttons. And one of those options is to reset to factory reset your tablet. You select that and it will erase everything, but you'll still run into the Gmail account if there's a Gmail in that tablet that was configured. So hoping that the user still has his password for the Gmail. If not, then
So
you have no
you
problem.
just have to be, sorry, you just have to be logged out of all the Gmail accounts before you reset it. Is that?
Yes. If ever after, let's say, an end of school year, the student returns the tablet to the IT department, make sure that all Gmail account or any accounts have been deleted or removed by the student or the teacher, in that case, from the tablet, and you'll have no problem in resetting the tablet after each use.
But if you reset it beforehand, that's what causes the lockout.
Exactly. There's another way of configuring your tablet if you want to, by using different users. So you can have an admin user, which can be your teacher or your IT department, which will be the admin account user. And then you create a user for the student. And that student, if ever loses their Gmail account password, and you just need to delete the user, the account for the student, and that's it. You don't have to reset the whole tablet.
Roger, can you repeat those steps to reset the tablet?
To reset the tablet is the volume up and power button at the same time. You press and hold them, and a menu will come up, and you will get the menu that you can select to reset the tablet.
We had another question came in again. It was Jim Olson asking about any guidance on decisions to make about when to maybe update a tablet when it's necessary, and when to just hold on to the existing tablet that you have.
I can take that one if you'd like. I think that the decision in terms of buying if you're talking about upgrading only the tablet versus the entire device, I guess it would be okay if the camera has become non-functional or broken, or the stand is broken. Those would be two indicators to go with a brand new full kit device.
No. I think it was specifically related to, I've got a functioning device, I've got this tablet. When would be, what factors would determine whether or not I wanted to, replace the tablet itself?
So I think I can go through a couple, but one of them would be, okay, you're having more and more difficulty connecting to networks as you're moving around, because we did update the Wi-Fi chip. So that would be one, as well as on school networks. If your IT folks are saying we don't want to connect because of you're using older security protocols and those sorts of things, and we want to use newer ones, those would be a couple of indicators.
Another one I can think of, Roger, is if you're trying to download an app and it's not supported on the older tablet,
Right. Yep.
you would need to upgrade your tablet so you can download those newer apps that just aren't supported with the older version. Just like with any, your phone, you can only
Right.
use it for so long.
Yeah, and there's some apps that you can side load onto
Right.
an older Android platform, but in sort of coming back to security and those sort of types of concerns, IT folks aren't as keen for you to side load applications. Like if you're using it personally, that's one thing, but for use in a school or an institutional environment, side loading of applications probably is probably frowned upon a little bit. So those would be some things to consider.
I think you two nailed it. I would go for. I think the immediate the question to answer is really, do you use apps from the App Store, and if so, are they still supported with the old Android devices? If not, then it would be a good reason to upgrade. Security factors, but you can still use the older Android version for, let's say, a student that is starting and is only using Prodigy and not going into Android, or don't need the internet access or the network access, so they can keep using the older version of the Connect 12.
Yep.
For
Mhm.
older
And the
students
old-
that need that connectivity,
Oop.
then you can move forward and upgrading the
Right.
tablet.
Yeah, and I think another, so just sort of riffing here a little bit, but one of the benefits that you'll be able to have with an upgrade of the tablet is you get to keep the old tablet. So that could still be used, say, for a younger user that doesn't need to have access to all of those things. So you can sort of get a 2-for-1 out of this and be able to support a younger learner, while another user that's been on to the platform needs to move forward and use some more advanced applications can continue on with the new tablet, and that younger user can use the old tablet. And I did want to sneak a little teaser in here at the end.
Before you go with the teaser, Roger, I just wanted to, I was reading the comments about the distance camera, and one of the things that were coming back is that the camera was getting loose while moving. There's screws that you can tighten on the and the arm, the flexible arm. The most important screw is the one right underneath that you can screw. And if you want, use some crazy glue to glue it in place, that little screw on the arm, so that it holds it better and stays there and doesn't unscrew. Just a little tip. Go ahead, Roger, do the teaser. I'm finished.
That was a heck of a setup there, Eric. By the way, for everybody that's on the line, Eric Beauchamp is our director of product management here at HumanWare. So, dare I say, the grandfather of the MATT Connect and the Prodigy software that resides on the device. So
I was going to answer Jedi on the
You're the Jedi,
on the questions.
Yeah. But this is also my chance to call him grandfather and old, so I'm taking advantage of it. So without further ado, so I did want to say, like, we are extremely excited about this update and all that it offers to folks that are using the MATT Connect, and the ability to get up to speed and have all the new features and so forth that we've added, but that doesn't mean that we're done. And so we are currently at HumanWare working on a dictionary application that will be coming to the MATT Connect here in the future. I don't have a specific timeline that I can share, but there is value in the software, and it will continue to grow. So this isn't the end of the line. It is just another jumping off point for us. So very excited to sort of put that out there for folks to consider as well. I think we're taking any other questions that might come in the chat. I'm also going to throw a link in there just for folks that are interested. You can tell us how we're doing at HumanWare. It can take you as little as 10 seconds. There's only one question that's required, and it's just a scale of 0 to 10. How are we doing? But if you want to provide more details, that's entirely up to you. So I'll just put that out there for anybody that's interested in completing that. And we'll wait for any questions to come in.
And while we're waiting, I can maybe answer another question that was in the chat about the keyboard. If ever I saw that Roger, you post, no, it's Jim that posted the mini keyboard from our website, but basically you can use also any other Bluetooth keyboard. It will work. The only thing that will not work is the special shortcuts that we have for Prodigy that was built in for Prodigy. But any Bluetooth keyboard should work on the MATT Connect.
It's a good point. And in fact, we've connected speakers up before too. So someone that doesn't want to wear earphones or headsets, and even have folks using Bluetooth earphones as well. We can't guarantee that everything's going to work, but we do have folks that are using them. So the Bluetooth connectivity can be very useful.
Yeah, and I think on the new tablet, Roger, correct me if I'm wrong, but the distance camera, you don't have to enter the password anymore. It's going to detect that it's a distance camera, and it's going to enter the correct password so that you can connect automatically. So again, right, things to be easier to set up.
Yep, that's correct. And you can do it as part of the wizard if you'd like. So
there's a question that came in about switching from landscape to portrait, so one can capture a whole page and then type into the document.
Okay, so when you're in the magnifier and you go to capture, if you just hold the zoom out button until it comes out and says full page, you can rotate a page into landscape and capture it in a landscape mode, and we will auto detect and rotate it back to a portrait layout based upon, the OCR tools that we're using.
So there's a question here on average. What is the average grade and age of a student who can use a MATT Connect? I'm introducing a 4th grader and a 9th grader who is new to the mainland. That's a good question there, Roger.
It is a good question. I don't know. I'm certainly open to Justine Sully's perspectives on this, but I think that 3rd or 4th grade is appropriate. I could see as low as 2nd grade maybe as an introductory point. Again, just going back to the interfaces that we've implemented for the MATT Connect, that ability to lock it into a basic interface that keeps them out of things that you don't want them to get involved with, and the ability to lock the tablet into the stand so it's used in that way. I think, you can go as probably as low as 6 or 7-year-old, 8-year-old, and get them started.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna say the same thing about the interfaces. Really make it where any, technology level, skill level, you can grow with, this device can grow with the student as they go from elementary, middle, high, with using those different interfaces, with the basic just being just the magnifier. That's all it is just a simple magnifier for near and distance. And then the standard includes the OCR, so you get the magnification, distance, and near with OCR in a simple gallery where you can just save and have it read aloud. And then the third, as they move along to the advanced, where it opens it up to all of the internet, web browsing, email, apps, all the things that they could be doing, graphing, note taking, all of those things. So yeah, I think any age range really.
So again, Roger, I don't know if you mentioned for the OCR aspect of things, it has to be in landscape, the page underneath the tablet,
Mhm.
and the tablet needs to be perpendicular to the base in order to capture a full page. And as soon as the OCR will detect that there is writing, it should turn the page around to a portrait or the same orientation that the text is in. So if your text is in landscape, it should be kept in landscape. If not, it should be in portrait. And when you zoom in and the text has been modified with, we call it diamond edge or computer font, it can be zoomed in up to almost 80x as far as you can, and without loss of any quality, image quality.
There's a question in here about how much a note is magnified. I think that's a tool feature.
Yeah, well, I don't have the exact answer for that. I wouldn't need to measure it, but it all depends on where the note or how the note was taken at first, because it's at 1x when we start writing, when we open the notes application, and then you can zoom in. But if you start out smaller than 1x and have more space on your page, then you can zoom in a lot farther in. So it depends on how you use it. I don't have the exact answer for that.
Okay.
Interesting. Any increased finger gesture for navigation or feature selection being considered? I think I would need more clarity on that question to answer
Is
that
that
one.
like the rapid toggle where you can toggle between open applications?
Yeah.
The rapid toggle, the 2-finger double tap to go back to the main menu, 4-finger press and hold to return to the Android.
Yeah. And all of these gestures are listed in that skills checklist I was mentioning. So all of those, and on the product page, there's tutorial videos on how to do it too.
There's a double tap, 1-finger double tap when you're in the magnifier to lock the autofocus, which is very helpful when writing underneath the camera in live mode. You can do that very easily. There's the swipe gestures to increase the reading speed when you're reading, or decrease the reading speed. You can swipe also to go from distance camera to the magnifier. And I think they're all, like Justine just mentioned, they're all in the skills checklist that you can download from the website, which is pretty good. The skill checklist is pretty good because then you can go through with your student to see where they're at, with their level of usage of the MATT Connect. And if they're missing anything, you can go back to that checklist and teach them how to use it. I think we had a webinar using the checklist at one point.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is anybody aware of whether or not that skills checklist would have been updated for the new version of the MATT, or
Yep.
would there not really have been? It was, okay.
Yes, it's all been updated, the manual, the checklist, everything's updated, and it's on the
Great.
new content page.
Perfect. So that answers that question from Jim. All right. Okay, well. Any parting comments from our gallery?
I just say, let it keep the feedback coming. Let us know how we're doing, and we're looking to continuously improve the MATT Connect and the software that's on there. So just give us the feedback. I already see 5 or 6 of you completed the feedback form for Humanware. So you know, keep that feedback coming. It helps us to continue to get better, and it helps us to serve the students and the folks that are using our devices that we all want to do the best for.
Absolutely.
All
These
right.
comments in the chat were awesome. Keep them coming, and don't be shy to share them. We can maybe help, give you a bit of some tips to help you out. And yeah, and if we can do something to make it evolve or fix it, we'll schedule it in our roadmap, and it's going to be our pleasure. We're always here to help.
All right.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much for I wouldn't have participated, but this was awesome. Always loved doing this.
We like having you here.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you very much.
All
Thanks,
right,
everyone.
everybody.
All right.
Have a great day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.